2:01 in the morning. A military base in downtown Caracas. The President of Venezuela is asleep. In 3 minutes, he will meet American soldiers wearing night vision goggles. He doesn't know they're coming. This is the story of how the United States captured a foreign leader. On his own soil. In the middle of his capital city. In 2020, the United States indicted Nicolas Maduro. The charge, narcoterrorism. The allegation, Venezuelan leadership participated in drug trafficking conspiracies. They wanted him in a New York courtroom. Maduro had been Venezuela's president since 2013. But by 2025, Venezuela was collapsing. Oil production had fallen from 3.5 million barrels a day to 1.1 million. The economy was in ruins. Millions had fled the country. And Maduro had refused to step down. Despite election disputes. Despite sanctions. Despite international pressure. So the Trump administration decided to do something no American president had done since the invasion of Panama in 1989. Remove a leader by force. The operation was called Absolute Resolve. And it would require the CIA. Delta Force. Over 150 aircraft. And perfect timing. Because if anything went wrong, it could start a war. August 2025. A small CIA team slipped into Venezuela. No diplomatic cover. No embassy protection. If they were caught, they were on their own. Their mission, track Maduro. Where he slept. Where he moved. What he ate. Even what pets he kept. The intelligence had to be perfect. Because months later, soldiers would need to know exactly where to go. The CIA team had help. A source. Someone close to Maduro. Inside his inner circle. Feeding information to the Americans. Day-to-day movements. Security rotations. Patterns. By December, the CIA had what it needed. Maduro rotated between 6 to 8 locations. But the Americans knew which one he'd be at on any given night. They knew the layout of Fort Tayuna, the military base where he stayed most often. They knew where the safe room was. And they knew he wouldn't reach it in time. Kentucky. A U.S. military facility. Delta Force built a full-scale replica of Maduro's compound. Steel doors. Safe room. Exact layout. They practiced the breach. Over and over. The goal, 3 minutes from door to Maduro. They timed themselves. Adjusted. Repeated. Tried blowtorches in case the safe room door was reached. Left nothing to chance. General Dan Kane, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, would later say, "We rehearse not to get it right, but to ensure we cannot get it wrong." December. The USS Gerald R. Ford, America's most advanced aircraft carrier, moved into the Caribbean. Then more ships. Warships. Amphibious assault vessels. The USS Iwo Jima positioned 100 miles off Venezuela's coast. Fighter jets. Bombers. Electronic warfare planes. Armed Reaper drones. Search and rescue helicopters. Special operations aircraft. All flowing into the region. Intelligence analysts watching Venezuela noted the buildup. They said it wasn't a question of if the US would strike. It was when. Maduro knew it too. On December 23, he offered a deal. Oil concessions. Access to reserves. Exile to Turkey. Trump rejected it. January 3. 10:46 p.m. Eastern Time. At Mar-a-Lago, Trump gave the final order. Execute. Operation Absolute Resolve was underway. Inside Caracas, the first move was invisible. Cyberattack. Power to large sections of the city shut down. Radar installations went dark. Communication networks disrupted. The city fell into shadow. At 4:30 p.m. Eastern, assets began launching. Over 150 aircraft. From 20 different bases. Some in the US. Some on carriers. Some in allied countries. All converging on Venezuela. All synchronized to the minute. The helicopters carrying Delta Force took off. flying at 100 feet above the water. Below radar. In darkness. The youngest crew member was 20. The oldest, 49. They flew for hours, waiting for the final confirmation. Maduro was at Fort Tayuna. At 2:01 a.m. Caracas time, explosions lit up the sky. Fighter jets and bombers struck Venezuelan air defenses. Radar sites destroyed. Anti-aircraft batteries silenced. 40 people died in the strikes, including 32 Cubans who were part of Maduro's security detail. The helicopters came in under fire. Venezuelan forces shot at them. The helicopters returned overwhelming force, according to General Kane. 1 helicopter was hit. 6 soldiers injured. But they kept going. At 2:01 a.m., Delta Force landed at Fort Tayuna, in the middle of Venezuela's most heavily fortified military base. In the heart of Caracas. 3 minutes to Maduro. Explosive breach. The steel door blew open. Delta Force moved through the building. Room by room. Corner by corner. Maduro heard them coming. His wife said, "I think I hear aircraft outside." 3 minutes warning. That was it. They ran for the safe room. Didn't make it. 5 minutes after entry, Delta Force had Maduro in custody. The helicopters returned. Loaded him and his wife. Lifted off. At 3:29 a.m., the force was over water. Maduro aboard the USS Iwo Jima. By 4:30 p.m. that day, he was in New York, arraigned on narcoterrorism charges. The operation was tactically flawless. 0 American deaths. Mission accomplished. But Venezuela's vice president remains in charge. The oil infrastructure is still broken. And legal experts are debating whether the operation was constitutional. Operation Absolute Resolve captured a president. Whether it solved anything is another question entirely.